The history of English.
The history of the English language really started with the arrival of the three Germanic tribes who invaded Britain during the 5th century. These tribes were the Saxons, the Angles, and the Jutes. No. Not the type of Saxons and Angles. Yeah, that ones. At that time, the inhabitants of Britain spoke a Celtic language.
I speak Celtic.
The Celtic speakers were pushed west and north by the invaders, mainly into what is now Scotland and Ireland.
I don't like Celtic speakers.
And that's the beginning of the English language.
The history of English consists in 3 parts: the old, the middle, and the modern.
The Old English. There was a poem called Beowulf. It had 3,182 alternative lines. It was written by an unknown Anglo-Saxon poet. The Middle English. It began in 1100 and it ended in 1500. The words strong and water derive from Old English. In 1066, William the Conqueror, the Duke of Normandy, invaded and conquered England. He brought them a new kind of French, which later they adapted it to their language.
Yeah, I brought them a new kind of French.
French became the language of the royal court, same as the English. Period, there was a kind of linguistic class division, where the lower classes spoke English and the upper classes spoke French. In the 14th century, the English became dominant in Britain again, but with many French words added. This language is called Middle English.
Garage. Garage.
It was the language of the great poet Chaucer, but it would be still difficult for native English speakers to understand today. The Modern English, the early one. Early Modern English, from 1500 to 1800. Hello!
Hello.
There was a distinct change in pronunciation. This was called the Great Vowel Shift. The invention of printing also meant that there was a new common language in print. Books became cheaper and more people learned to read. In 1604, the first English dictionary was published. This work contained about 3,000 words. It was called the First English Dictionary. Hamlet's famous "to be or not to be" lines written in early modern English by Shakespeare. Late modern English. The main difference between the early modern English and late modern English is vocabulary. The late modern English has many more words, arising from 2 principal factors. Firstly, the Industrial Revolution and technology created a need for new words. So they created new words. Secondly, the British Empire covered 1/4 of the Earth's surface, and the English language adapted words from many countries, such as Africa, the Caribbean, and many more. Now, the English dictionary had new words, for example, Wi-Fi, zombie, lemonade, and boomerang. Varieties of the English language.
Round 1. America versus Britain. Trash versus rubbish. Round 2. Fall versus autumn.
However, the Spaniard also brought new words like canyon, stampede, and ranch. Nowadays, 1.5 billion people speak English. A quarter are native speakers, a quarter are second language speakers, and half know how to ask for directions. By Katharina Alscher, Sebastian English, Ian Beller, and William.